Yo, 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 how you living? How you feeling? How you doing? First Choice Fantasy, we are back. Brandon, Alex, Ed, we're back. Start sits, week one. Start sits, week one. Wide receivers, two per person. We're back. Pull the scissors out, cut the damn intro.
I said, baby, I am not the one to play with. Ain't the type to give up, I'm driven and motivated. I just want some recognition and some compensation. But this ain't about the money and it ain't about the fame. I got lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
And we're back. Alex, how you living?
Alive.
He's alive.
It's
Yeah,
always
how you
Will Fuller. Oh, my
hope.
bad, Alex. Is that your pick?
He's alive.
been? Yeah, Alex, who was your
I
pick?
think you would know that is my pick, given that we're looking at the same sheet here. Yeah, my first option is Will Fuller because that's going to be a fucking shootout because neither Kansas City nor Houston is bringing a defense to this game, I don't think. Especially not Houston. So, yeah, I mean, I'm expecting them to be down 24 within the first, opening coin tip. So they're going to need Will Fuller. And if he's healthy, he's going to do that thing where he puts up a 37-point game and strains his hamstring in the fourth quarter.
Or is it,
Yeah, he's my start. I don't really think I need too much of an explanation for that.
or is it Brandon
that
Cooks?
I actually did have Brandon Cooks up there at first, but I'm going to take Fuller because Fuller has proven to be a more talented player when healthy. He just normally isn't healthy. But, I mean, I'd start Cooks here, too.
Fuller hasn't hit that ceiling yet. That's going to be it. He's going to score 67 points week one.
One of these years, he's going to play 15 or 16 games and be like the wide receiver 9, and someone's going to get a huge steal out of that.
You got to hope for it.
Probably be this
Especially
year,
now.
given that this year's steal. But my second start, I'm going with Deontay Johnson against the aforementioned awful Giants secondary. He good.
Needless to say.
I think he's going to eat this week. He's going to eat this year. He's going to do pretty solid. I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, I like him as well this year. Probably the Giants. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I don't know who
start
they
in
got
my eyes.
guarding him, but I don't think it's going to be anyone that great. So.
Not at all. All right. I'll go into my first start of the week with wide receivers, and it is Kenny Galladay against the Chicago Bears. Past couple games, I think he's played against the Chicago Bears. He's put up decent numbers, like starting-wise numbers, not like 30-plus points or anything like that. But, I mean, it's consistent 15, 20-point games, and I think he's going to do much the same against the Bears on – what day is it? I don't fucking know what day it is. He's gonna succeed. And who the fuck are their corners now? They lost Luke Amara, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe.
Fuck if I know. All I do know is that Kenny Galladay is going to be a top 5 wide receiver week one. Book it. And then next, of course, Deshaun Jackson. Why would you not start Deshaun Jackson week one against the Washington football team? I apologize.
Yeah, he was one of my
How'd you know?
starters.
He is the obvious choice here for the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington football team, as last year, week one, against the same exact
He did
team.
last year.
Exactly. Needless to say. Like I was going to say, it's needless
They
to
don't
say.
have shit in terms of stopping him, much like they did last year.
We don't really have the weapons that are really going to put up a lot of help, I guess you could say, for Carson Wentz. And I think Deshaun Watson, fuck am I on? Deshaun Jackson is good enough to make us win that game.
Deshaun Watson.
That ought to end the Watson versus Wentz debate if Watson's playing receiver for Wentz.
I didn't know it was a debate, to be honest.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's a debate amongst Eagles fan circles, at least. What do you got?
I changed my mind.
I saw that.
I have
That's
Brandon
it.
Edwards, and
You don't even know his name.
cop out.
what's up? No, I have Brian.
Edwards.
I have Brian. I said Brian.
Oh,
I said
Brandon.
Brian.
Brandon.
Cop
All
out.
right, well, Brandon or Brian. Brian Edwards was, and until I heard Ed's compelling argument with the Bears divisional matchup, I think it's going to be a heyday. And I think Marvin Jones is going to succeed this game. As you saw on our last episodes with tight ends, TJ Hawkinson was my sit. Go back, watch that. Learn a little about our start sit tight ends. But anyway, I think who will succeed in this game are the wide receivers. So, mark it. Marvin Jones. Another player, AJ Green. He's kind of on a similar spectrum as Marvin Jones. Injured a lot. Good when he plays, and I think AJ Green, just like Marvin Jones, they're obviously going to play. And I think Joe Burrow's debut is going to look pretty good. I mean, I don't think he's going to. I mean, who knows? He might light it up, but speaking realistically and realistic expectations, I'm going with the veteran all-star that's played year in, year out, other than injuries keeping him out. And I think he's going to play and he's going to succeed. So those are my two starts.
I will probably second that, most likely second that. I don't know if I actually want to commit to that, but I do want to co-sign a honorable mention sit real quick as we're talking about the Bengals. I would sit Tyler Bullard. He would be one of my sits, but I have some pretty big names I'm going to put on my sit list. So cutting to Alex's part, let's hear Alex's sits for the week.
Yeah, we do have some talent on this sit section. My first sit is Stephon Diggs. I can just say, if you didn't like your target share in Minnesota, get ready to see the first Josh Allen pass that sails 55 yards over your head.
Big pass.
The Jets defense is, I think, a little underrated. Don't know if they have any good cornerbacks, but just not buying it right now. I think Diggs is going to be very boomer bust this year. Could be wrong there, but I'm not feeling him this week. I think Allen's going to frustrate him at times. Yeah, that's that. My second sit, you got Mike Evans against New Orleans. If you remember last year, Marshawn Lattimore threw a shutout against Mike Evans, and he handled him pretty well the second week.
Second week he didn't play. There's P.J. Williams, and Mike Evans still only put up 10 points, which is actually sad.
I was saying, Mike Evans he didn't have a great game that day, so I just kind of assumed that Lattimore didn't play. All right, there you go. Apparently they can defend him. I would imagine they'd keep Lattimore on him. Maybe. I don't actually know how they do this, but that's the assumption I'm going with. He seems to struggle against that team. I think that team's going to be weird with Brady anyway. We don't know how the hell that's going to go down, so he scares me this week.
I think
feel
Brady's
like if you
going to
have
rely.
him, you're probably starting him anyway because you spent a high pick on him, but I would be worried about it. I would be very worried about it.
If you're starting him, I would probably
On the-
expect a week one. I guess you could say a week one loss. I don't know. I just don't
Do
expect
not
Mike
be
Evans.
I wouldn't expect wide receiver one production for him. I think that you can hope for it, but good luck.
I mean, to know that he put up a dud last year against Marshawn Lattimore, and then also only put up 9-10 points against P.J. Williams, the number 2 cornerback, the second game around. Very weary.
I mean,
I'd stay away from him.
we'll see.
Who knows? Maybe it's going to be a statement game. Tom Brady.
For the
Coming in.
Saints, on to some more talent stuff.
Saints, yeah. On to some more talent, speaking of which, okay, Amari Cooper is
Alright.
my sit for week one, okay, which is weird because I did put a flagpole. If anybody remembers that episode. If you haven't seen it, click right here. I put a flagpole. Well, I put a flagpole on 2 players that I'm sitting my flagpole week one against the Rams, okay? This is my expectations for week one for Amari Cooper, okay? He's going to get covered by Jalen Ramsey on most of his snaps. That's what I'm expecting. He was pretty ass last year against Jalen Ramsey. He was pretty ass against any great man cover cornerback, much like Jalen Ramsey, okay? He's actually supposed to get more slot snaps, obviously, with 3 variable wide receivers who can play all over the field. Who knows? Amari Cooper gets a decent slot percentage week one. I'm not going to bank on him having an insane amount of target share from inside the snap or from inside the slot. And when he plays outside against Jalen Ramsey, I think he's going to get shut down, much like any other wide receiver that goes out there against Jalen Ramsey. So, with that being said, I don't think I'm going to be able to start him necessarily with expectations of him hitting as a wide receiver one. If he puts up 10 points, he puts up 10 points. He's not going to reach that wide receiver one threshold in my eyes. So I'm going to mark him down as a sit when he still might be able to contribute to your offense more than somebody like Randall Cobb. That's all I got to say.
I
Now.
just want to say, this is kind of backing you up, kind of not backing you up. you did make him your flagpole. And when you make someone such as like Amari Cooper, your flagpole, you're looking at him as wide receiver 1. In fact, I think this was something you said. You said potential top 5 wide receiver. That's the type of player I couldn't sit. And this is backing up your claim as him being a number 1.
It's full
and,
season, though. It's 16 games, man.
Yeah,
16
and
games.
this is the first week. And, I mean, last year, your argument was, well, he was banged up. What weeks did he play banged up? Week 15 when he played the Rams. Your argument fights. He was playing Ramsey. Was he out there as a decoy? You never know. So
That's true, but I mean, I'm not gonna downplay Jalen Ramsey's talent. Jalen Ramsey's
absolutely, yeah. I mean,
Plus,
said, they switch around. Amari's not playing all in the slot, and if he switches into the slot, out of the slot, wherever, is Ramsey actually going to follow him?
Doubtful. But I also wanted to say that he is also battling an injury supposedly right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know off the top of my head what it is, but he's also
Cooper?
He's in practice as Cooper, yeah. It's questionable.
Is Cooper just always battling an injury?
Yeah. That is true, yeah. That is
It's like
true.
he wakes up hurt.
Plantar fasciitis or whatever the hell it is. What he has.
Plantar fasciitis?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
That is a bitch and a half.
Yeah,
Big
that's
pitch.
not a good thing to have.
All right, well, if you
Moving
thought
on
that one
from-
was controversial.
Next one, DeAndre Hopkins versus the 49ers. I put in parentheses, what? Okay. So DeAndre Hopkins against San Francisco 49ers. DeAndre Hopkins has been on and off the practice field with his new team battling injuries. He's battling a hamstring injury, which is actually rather rough, I guess you could say, for a wide receiver because it's going to be lingering. I mean, obviously he's not a speed guy like, say, John Ross, so it's not going to hurt him as much, but it's still a vital part of you have to cut, you have to do all this. Your hamstrings will power you. I think he's probably not going to play that well as he's going to be hobbled. He's playing against Richard Sherman, which is another one of those great cornerbacks. He's meshing in with his first actual game with his new team, new quarterback, new scheme, all of that. Too many question marks. I'm not going to expect a top, wherever you're drafting him, probably top 10, like top 10 wide receivers, top 5 wide receivers actually probably, but I wouldn't expect that from DeAndre Hopkins this week. Sure, maybe a low-end wide receiver 2, maybe a high-end wide receiver 3 flex, but I would not start DeAndre Hopkins assuming that he's going to put up wide receiver 1 numbers. So that is why I'm sitting him. These start-sits are practically are not really – I guess it should be more like upsets of the week. They wouldn't really be classified as a sit. So I'm not going to sit DeAndre Hopkins, but, yeah, you get what I'm saying. Now,
actually, all aboard the D-Hop train this week.
Oh, you are?
Guess we'll find out. Yeah, I think the Sherman thing is overrated. Sherman is more of a zone corner. They can avoid him.
I think the defense as a whole as well is pretty solid. I think it's the offensive line of 49 is pretty ass. Or the
Kyler Murray had success against them last year, and I think if they have a vulnerability, it's the secondary. So I'm hoping they can get him mobile to avoid their defensive line, and that get my man Hopkins involved.
Guess time will tell on that one.
Brandon, let's hear yours. Brandon, not benching a wide receiver 1 here. I'm incredibly disappointed.
You two kind of really reached that market of wide receiver 1s. I would even – well, Diggs, I understand. Evans is he's a wide receiver 1 for sure.
I don't think Diggs is a 1. I mean,
Diggs. I didn't say Diggs.
Evans, Cooper, and Hopkins are in that conversation.
Yeah, but my picks were more in the flex play. So I have Jarvis Landry here. I would sit him against Baltimore. Just not a great matchup. I could see Odell Beckham having a good game here, coming into the season healthy. He's gonna flash. Offensive line is much improved there in Cleveland, and Browns, they have such a talented team. The offense is going to make plays, and I think Odell, being the veteran that he is, he will have some very efficient plays. As for Jarvis, I think it's going to be limited.
Is Landry not a veteran?
He's a veteran. I don't. That's why I didn't say he's not a veteran because I know he's a veteran. However, I see it being I don't know. I just see it being an Odell game.
That's what your crystal ball tells you. That's what your crystal ball tells
Yeah.
you. Man.
Oppose?
injury this
No.
No oppositions.
Uh,
No oppositions.
Then you
Minor
got.
opposition.
This is a deep flex. Sterling Shepard. If anyone's considering starting Sterling Shepard, I would not against this defense. Who knows? You might be into Sterling. I personally am not. So I'm
The scary part here is if it really is a blowout, Daniel Jones gets to throw 35 garbage time passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be to players like Golden Tate and
Even if he gets the
Darius
passes
Slayton,
off, so
Evan Engram.
I'm not really
There's a
digging
lot of
any of
mouths
these
to
giant
feed.
receivers. Unless you're desperate.
That's how I was feeling. I was thinking wide receiver core in general. That's a
Respectable.
wrap, fellas.
that's a wrap. You don't want to do no
Wrap.
honorable mentions? You don't got no honorable
Honorable
mentions?
mentions? I don't.
Probably have
other
honorable
than the
mentions
Bryan
for
Edwards.
days because there's a lot of receivers out there.
DK Metcalf, I think, is going to exceed expectations week 1. I'll say that. All right. I guess that is. I guess we will bid you adieu. First Choice Fantasy. Like, comments, share, subscribe. Love us. We love you. Ed, Alex, Brandon drinking that Red Zappalea, whatever it is. We're heading out. Adios. Deuces. Amigos. Amigos.